Hello and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. This week we will be previewing the Port Adelaide game. Just before we get underway, I just wanted to kickstart this episode with congratulations to Mark Murphy on his 300th and final game. Check out the badges for our mighty football club. He was obviously taken pick number 1 in the 2005 National Draft and has had a great career captain in Carlton from 2013 to 2018. He's won 2 Best and Fairest. He's an All-Australian and, of course, an AFL Life member as well. So it doesn't get much better than that. With us all being born sort of early 2000s, we've sort of grown up watching Mark Murphy play. So I just wanted to throw to you boys and get your favourite moment sort of from Murph. That's good. We'll start with you, Pato.
So firstly, Mark Murphy, awesome career, 300 games, one club player as well. I think that's one of the more underrated things. For him to be, because there was kind of a time when he was kind of linked to Geelong and maybe chasing some success, but he stayed loyal, which I have even more respect for him. But my favourite moment was the 2013 game, round 23 against Port Adelaide, when he pretty much had a captain's performance, that I like to call it. 2 clutch goals in the 4th and 3 goals for the game. 23 touches at 78 disposal efficiency with 5 tackles. I just think that was a captain's performance from Mark Murphy. And we actually forget how good he was, or how good he was in his prime. It's just a shame that he didn't actually show more like their club didn't show more success for him. But I thought he was a good captain through a very tough time.
Exactly right. Well said, mate. All right, Dash, what was your favourite moment, mate?
Yeah, that's a great match. I reckon that's one of Murphy's greatest performances. It'd be up there, definitely. I always remember that with the white strip on round 23. It always a bit of goosebumps at Amy Stadium. My memory, it's very recent. There's heaps of memories, but that checkside banana against St Kilda, just the raw. It felt like a final that day, like the sun of the MCG.
Yeah,
we played some good footy under Teague for the last 10 weeks or whenever he was hired. I think it was Cripper's 100th game, Teague's first game as actual coach. And full Carlton
last game as
crowd.
well.
There's nothing better. Getting a win was just fantastic. But that goal was wow. It was fantastic.
He had a knack, didn't he, of just kicking them special goals. Obviously, like timely goals, but also just very, very impressive goals.
Just speaking of bananas, you can't go past the goal against the Dockers over there without Cripper to get that win. Just no matter how many times I watch it, still get goosebumps watching that.
Yeah.
The sidestep, the veteran. Man.
Oh, that was awesome. Awesome. Goosebumps every time.
Commentary was good too, yeah. Great moment. My favourite moment would be when he stuck the finger up to Joffa.
How good was that?
Sorry,
best photo. One of the best photos of all time, man.
Yeah.
How good is it? Who took that photo? All right. Beautiful. Well done, boys. All right. Now, we'll get stuck into the preview. So, last time we met was obviously earlier on in the year where we lost by 28 points. So, it's pretty disappointing. Our goals were fairly shared. So, we had 8 goal scorers and Levi kicked 2. Walsh had 29 disposals and a goal and 6 tackles. I was there. You boys were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I saw you. You were sitting across. Remember, you were like on the 50, I think. You saw me, yeah. Saw the beanie head.
I don't even have terrible hair. I just seem to always wear a beanie. I don't know why.
You've got great hair, yours, all right? Don't underestimate his hair.
All right, beautiful. So we'll get stuck into our team lineup. So pretty big in this week with a young fella making his debut in Brodie Kemp. How do we feel about that, boys?
About time.
About bloody time. Exactly right.
Yeah, it'll be good to see. He's got a lot of potential, I think. So exciting to see him play on the big stage.
Be good to see. Obviously, Mitch McGovern coming in as well. And, of course, the 300 gamer, Mark Murphy, will be starting on the ground, which is good. Obviously out, quite a late out. We didn't really know about this. Well, I certainly didn't know about this until today. Jack Silvani is apparently injured. I watch nearly every week. I watch the injury report, and it was not mentioned at all. So I'm not sure what happened
Once
there.
again.
Harry's obviously out, and Liam Jones. Harry's out for the year, obviously, and then Liam Jones out for the year as well. All right, moving on to the outs. Of course, we have Jack Silvani out, which is a bit surprising to me. I watch the injury report, almost every week, the little video, and with nothing mentioned about it. I didn't hear anything about it until today, being Thursday. That was a bit of a shocker. And then Harry and Liam out for the year. The Liam Jones one, I think, also came out of the blue, but then the Harry one was sort of confirmed, I think, a bit earlier on as well. Pato, I just want to get your thoughts, mate, especially about the Jack Silvani one. Did you know anything about that before today, or how do you?
Had no idea. Which is, obviously those three key outs, very, very key outs. Jack Silvani's been good this year. He's had a few injuries, but I feel like these past probably 5 or 6 weeks he's been actually really good. Liam Jones also, that stat a couple of weeks ago with his last one intercept contest over 101, which is that's just crazy. But also Harry Mackay, that shoulder. But I'm glad that they're
they're not risking it.
Yeah, I wonder what they would actually do if we were actually a chance to make finals.
I wonder
what they would do. Yeah. But obviously,
are these blokes? We're not gonna, just assume all this sort of stuff. But are these blokes been injured for a few weeks? But now they're just realizing they're not playing finals, so they're like, there's no point risking them. Or sort of, how do you feel, Jack? What do you reckon, mate?
I think because it's all come out this week. Definitely not defending the club because I'm annoyed at how they don't tell us anything. We all know that. But I think because all the news stories and all of them has been that they've been sent in for surgery. They've agreed they're going to send him to surgery. So I think that you're right in saying that they were probably playing through injuries, and now that the season's over, it's get him in for surgery so they're right for pre-season. I think is probably what the idea is.
Is that why throughout the year, and I'll throw to Daff now in a sec, they've sort of tried to keep quiet as much as possible with, I'm just going to name a couple, Patrick Cripps, back injections, Harry's shoulder that he was apparently fine 1 week, not fine the next. What are your thoughts, Daff? How do you feel about it, mate?
Yeah, I'm at 50-50 about some of them. I get probably more annoyed about the ones that are 1 week injuries, they just pop out of nowhere, like a Owies is hurt, like a little hammy tweak that just on a Friday where they call it. But for me, I don't mind the Silvani one. He's been injured for a while. So as a football team, you don't want to be telling other teams that you've got injuries. Personally, our local footy team, our full forward for the seniors, the other team found out that he had a bung shoulder. So they got into his shoulder and then he was out for 5 weeks. So I guess that might be the reasoning, but it's still a bit, we should be told a bit more as fans. And I think it was just found out that they're not going to tell us the review findings. So
yeah, I found that quite.
I don't know. Are they supposed to, or I don't know?
They had the option, obviously, but I believe
in past reviews, did they tell their fans? I'm not sure, but
Richmond did.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think was it Geelong or someone else did.
Collingwood,
obviously, they done the do better as well, which got leaks. So I don't actually know if that was. You would assume with our club it does have a way of getting stuff leaked through anyway. So we'll probably find out some of it anyway. But I thought it'd be weird. I thought 81,000 members. We've been paying members, some of us, for a long time. We sort of deserve to know. I feel like we have some sort of, I guess.
Yeah.
We've been paying so much money, so much effort, passion into this club. We want to know why they've been so poor.
We want more answers than questions, I guess. Especially over our group chat, we've all been having little conversations about a certain topic and asking each other questions, which is great conversation, as we all love Carlton and all, and different opinions and stuff like that. But I'm sick of asking questions. I want to see answers. You know what I mean? On field and off field. So yeah, just not good.
You want to know what's going on with the club, where they're heading, and all that sort of stuff. All right, so with the Mitch McGovern one as well, I was going to ask you boys. So with Jack Silvani out, we would assume Gov will be pinch hitting in the ruck. Is that basically a given, or how do you feel he'll go? Sort of get your boys' opinions. Daff, how do you feel about it, mate?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Just to allow Tommy to rest up forward or on the bench. No sauce, I'd imagine so. Unless, Levi's not in, so be the governor, I reckon.
Yeah. Mitch, Jack?
Yeah, Mitch? I think that's probably the logical. Because even when we said a couple of weeks ago when potentially McGovern might be coming back with Silvani, like they're playing in the same team. I know that I probably wanted more Silvani in the ruck just because I feel like he did a good job. But you boys were saying that also McGovern's probably the better option as ruckman, and I'm starting to agree with that as well. So I think McGovern can actually be all right in the ruck. But what's your thoughts, Jack?
Yeah, I think I completely agree with all what both of you said. I think also it might be a little bit of what happened in the St Kilda game when TDK went down, that Kennedy might pinch it a little bit here and there. But I think outside of that, I think you guys are completely correct.
All right, moving on to Port Adelaide's in. So Tom Cleary is in. They're out. So they've got Sam Powell-Pepper and Trent McKenzie out. How do you see that, Ethan? Do you reckon that'll help us in any way, or pretty even? Or?
I'm not sure really. I'm sorry about the voice crack. No, I don't know.
Young fella.
Cleary's all right. Is he out or is he in?
He's in.
Yeah, he's handy.
Tom Cleary in, out to Sam Powell-Pepper and Trent McKenzie.
Yeah, Sam Powell-Pepper probably is a pretty good midfielder for them. I don't really look into Port too much, so Paddo's speech.
Paddo, what do you got?
Well, I mean, it's probably good for Port that they had the Cleary and the McKenzie swap, because I don't know if Cleary's been injured or not, but if he's not been injured and he's playing in the VFL, it's a pretty good swap, because I know Cleary actually played
pretty tough to play VFL.
Shut up. I tried not to say yeah, all right. No, that's
whatever it's called, Saffel.
Sample.
Port Adelaide. Jack, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, look, I mean, Port Adelaide could have their bloody thirds in at the moment. I think they'd still tell us up, so I'm not sure the ins and outs are going to affect the result too much.
Well, it's on the script, mate. All right, I've got to read it out. All right.
Yeah, no worries. Because we've been good getting beaten by final teams our thirds. So
Yep.
Well, we got beaten by West Coast, fourth side.
Oh,
so
exactly.
Their fourths are better than their first, mate.
Yeah.
Really?
The tease.
All right, beautiful. Moving on to key matchups. Daff, your time to shine, mate. What do you got for us?
Yes, on the stage again. Key matchups. We'll go down back. Weeders against Dixon. What do you reckon of this matchup, Paddo?
It's probably the most logical one, because it was kind of a toss-up between Dixon and Georgiades, I feel better. Dixon's probably the bigger target down there, but it's the other question is who's probably going to take the Georgiades? Because Plowman... I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't
They're
think
a bit different, aren't they? They're a bit different, I would have thought. Georgiades and Charlie Dixon. Dixon's a big fella.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think Weeders would take Georgiades. Probably like a Newman or Plough.
Oh, yeah, Newman's down there. Okay. Yeah. But, he's a tough... I mean, I know that we don't really rate Charlie Dixon that highly, but just because, he just... But he doesn't... Well, he doesn't... He should be better. He doesn't convert into shots. But he kicks fucking one from the angle of bloody 45 metres out. But Weeders should be all right. He's kept a lot of the key forwards quiet this year, so he should back up again. But saying that, I did say that against Super Lucky.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Speech? Don't jinx it here, Speechly.
Yeah, no, I mean, Port Adelaide just have a massive forward line. They've got Dixon, they got Marshall, they got Georgiades, they got Laddams. They've got a very, very
Laddams is down there as well.
Forward line. So I think we're going to have one or two matchups where we're just going to be absolutely exposed. So at the end of the day, I mean, what does it really matter?
Have a red on go, boys.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
On that, what I was going to say is the pressure's on, in a way, for Jacob Weedering this week, because Liam Jones, obviously, as we've discussed, is out. So he needs to shine, because there's no sort of secondary. Who do you go to? If Weeders is having a bad day.
I'm quite confident, just based on that Geelong game where Jones was laid out and Weeders kept Hawkins out. Well, Hawkins to 0 goals, and Plough did pretty well on Asava Raleigh out of all people. So with the Geelong matchup, because Plowman, he went to Radiclia, didn't he?
Did he go to Radiclia? Yeah. So I mean, the reason why we're laughing so much is because I couldn't say the last name Radiclia. It's a pretty hard last name to say. So in that game, Plowman went to Radiclia. Is that right?
Yeah.
Radiclia. How do you say it?
Radically.
Radically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got there. But so Plowman, did he go to him? So I reckon in that case, Plowman will probably go to their second tour, which will probably either it's a Georgiades or a Marshall. Laddams also, I forgot that he was playing. So yeah, it's a big test for us, but we'll see how we go.
All right, so now we'll move on to the midfield. We'll start off with TDK against Scott Lysette. Another test for TDK. I think he's been coming into his own the last month or so. What do you reckon, boys? Sammy, what do you reckon?
Oh, throws to me. All right. Big test. He's had probably not the biggest test he's had all year, though, to be fair. Like, no disrespect to Scotty Lysette. I do rate him, but he's had, a lot better ruckman, I guess, this year he's faced up against. It will be interesting because obviously no Jack Silvani, which is the second best ruckman for the Carlton Footy Club, mate. But it'll be interesting to see. Big test for TDK, but I think he's got enough, in some experience. This year he's learnt a lot since the start of the year, and looking forward to seeing it.
Speechley, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I think for me, Scotty Lysette he is up there in the sort of not the top tier in ruckman. I say probably the next tier, sort of that B tier ruckman. So I think it's a real test for TDK. I mean, I think around the ground once again he'll have him, but then Scotty I think will just be a little bit too big in the ruck, but should be right.
All right, so another midfield matchup. This is the battle of the big bodies. Paddy Cripps against Ollie Wines. Throw it to Mitch. What's your thoughts, mate?
I reckon Wines is probably Brownlow Wines this year. I reckon he's a lock for all Australian. I mean, of course, Brian Walshy, of course, but I reckon he's a lock for all Australians. So it's a big test for Cripper. But me personally, probably Wines will probably get the better of him. Cripps, he's not had the most ideal season this year, but Wines is a star. He's been really good this year, so it will be a tough one, but who knows.
Yeah, it's usually a good matchup between those two, and Cripps and usually other big-bodied mids, so it'll be interesting. Move up forward. We've got Charlie Curnow, who's a bit touch and go. Sources of the Baggers chat.
Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. Source. But we believe he's going to play. So Curnow against Aaliyah. Very athletic players, both of them. I think Aaliyah's been very good since moving across to the power. What do you reckon? Pattinson?
Well, we actually don't even realise that Port have a very tall lineup, because even down back as well, they have Aaliyah, they have Tom Jonas, they have Cleary as well that they've added in. So me personally, I reckon Curnow will go to Aaliyah, but it's kind of hard to tell because Aaliyah might be that loose defender where he played really well. I think it was against Adelaide, where he actually got best on ground, and I think he played a little bit more loose. He played a little bit more of a loose defender.
I compare probably Aaliyah very closely to Liam Jones in the way they play. Very athletic, take a lot of inset marks, but you continue, mate.
Yeah, so it's a tough one for Curnow, but Aaliyah is a very good defender. So, and I feel like he's been really good at Port this year from moving to Sydney, from Sydney. So it's a tough one, but as we said before, who knows? Who knows with Carlton?
Yeah. Speechley.
Yeah, I think with Port and as Pato said, their tall backline, and obviously this week our not so tall backline, I think they'll probably play a lot more sort of zoning and team defense around both McGovern and Curnow, rather than have like just one like set matchup like Aaliyah plays on Curnow or that sort of thing. But in saying that, if it is Aaliyah and Curnow, I think that is a good matchup, to watch, because they're both athletic players that can, move well, get the ball well. So that would be a good matchup to watch.
Beautiful. Well done, mate. We got through it. All right, moving on to Under the Pump. Who do you have for Under the Pump this week, Pato?
I think it's pretty obvious. David Teague. He's definitely under the pump. We've spoken a lot about it. Last night, especially on the chat. I've made up my decision. I really want us to keep Teague. I really don't think it's really, it's a hard one because I actually want to see how much this talk about Teague getting sacked would happen if Clarkson or Lyon wasn't available. I would want to see what would happen because let's be real, Teague has done pretty well from what he's taken over in 2019. I think it was like round 10 or 11 when he took over from what he's done now, we're starting to progress. It's just my thoughts, just my opinion, but I don't want T to go. And also player-wise, I have Lockie O'Brien, Paddy Dow, and Lockie Plowman. Those are the three that I'm looking at that are under the pump. LOB especially, he can't do the same as last week. He needs to respond again. Paddy Dow the same. He can't do that. He can't do that again because you don't want to see him start to lose his shit again. And Lockie Plowman, fuck boys. Tough one.
That's well said, mate. I've got to throw to Dash now because I want to get your opinion on this as well because you're a bit on the fence. You're a bit, two bob each way. Just David Teague, before we go to your under the pump, David Teague, does this game mean anything? Does the next two games really mean anything? Is it already done?
I don't think it would mean anything out of the respect of him. Like, you wouldn't sack a coach based on a round 22 result.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I've been saying, I'm trying to wait and see. I'm kind of sick of this talk a little bit. I can see both ways. I can see both ways. I don't really want to push him out because that's just out of respect of the guy. He's a great guy, and we all know that he's a great person, and he's helped the football club, from absolute shithouse where Bolton left it to now. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very. He's under the pump definitely, but yeah.
Is that who you have for you under the pump, mate?
I'd have him, and I'd probably have Dow and O'Brien. I think if Dow doesn't pick it up, he'll be on the trade table. There's been a bit of talk about him being on the trade table, so be interesting.
Well, that's even more so than if he is on the trade table. We really want him to play a good last couple of games to add a bit of value. And I also, mate, Jack, who do you have, mate?
Just before I get into it, I just want to just quickly respond to Pato's call of play under the pump. It's a bit of a tough week for him to be under the pump when he's going to be probably playing with someone 6 foot taller than him. So that's
of course
harsh on me.
Yeah, it's a tough one because you boys.
You think he has been playing well, Pato? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm actually a bit with Speech. I actually am a massive fan of Plowman, but I feel like it's just because my expectations of him are quite high, and I mean, some people may have thought he wasn't as bad, but when I was watching, I was like, because you're so much better than that. You're so much better than that, Plowman. You're so much better than that. Like last year, 2 years ago, he was keeping. You name the small forwards, Toby Green, bloody Tom Papley. Like, he was keeping him goalless, mate.
For me, the way Plowman plays is the way he actually uses the ball. Like, that's how his games are determined for me. I think he's been defending pretty well. 2 weeks ago against the Saints, their smalls kick goals. Yeah. Like, how did the Suns forwards go last week? They were Sextons and they were okay. They went great. But,
midfield.
Yeah, it's just for him. I think it's ball use out of the back half. Like we talked about in the review how they mark it at half back and opt to go sideways and don't push off the mark and go forward and take a risk. I think that's what he needs. Like, sometimes when he takes a risk, he does turn it over. But I don't mind when you're willing to take a risk.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Same Kilda game. We're using the middle of the ground. Going to our forwards like Honeys and they're zipping around and Kernos and Mackay's. Like, it's easy footy when you take the game on.
Yeah.
But
Well, beautiful. Well said, mate. Now we'll go back to you, Jack.
Sorry.
No, that was good. That was good. I agree with everything you said. We've all said, Paddy Dow, but I think especially for me, he had 8 touches on the weekend and he was in 60% of centre bounces. How do you only have 8 touches when you're on the ball for the majority of the game? My God.
He had none. He had 8 touches at the end of the third.
Yeah, he didn't have a touch in the last quarter.
It's not good enough. Sorry, but it's not good enough.
It's not, especially when he was playing, good footy, and then he's just been declining the last 2 or 3 weeks, and then to dish up that last week was pathetic. So I'd love for him to bounce back this week. Same with O'Brien and everyone else that served up shit last week, I guess.
Yeah. No, well said, mate. That'd just be disappointing with Paddy Dow, I suppose. All right, under the pump for me, it's a bit of a different one. I've got. Did have this earlier. Now I don't know if I should go with it. I have the medical staff and the board of the footy club in terms of, like, I don't know. It's so the media is going to always do their job. They're always going to try and create stories even when there's no story there. I can't remember who it was, but on the radio the other day, he said basically David Teague was out, and then we came out, which is good, and said he is safe. But anyway, for me, the review findings,
Wait, sorry to stop you there. Did they actually say he was safe or?
No, so I can't remember who it was. Was his name?
It was Neil Mitchell.
Like that?
Neil Mitchell, yeah.
When he came out and he said, basically the T was gone, yeah? And then they replied back. I don't know if they said.
I think they might have
said
said
there was no meeting.
They haven't come to that decision yet or something like that. I'm not sure how they worded it. But they said that is not true. So don't know why he would say that, because he even said usually his sources are pretty good. So,
reliable, yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he didn't even say sorry for making that call. Like he's still sort of somewhat stuck by it, which I thought was interesting. But it wouldn't be unlike our club to get something leaked through to the media. It does happen. But also just for the medical staff, like, why there was no mention of Jack Silvani in the injury report, which usually would make you think, was he done it, outside of the footy game? But like, has it happened after that video was released? Did they not know? Did he come up to him a bit later? Like, just why was it not in the video? Like, did they not know? Why, as members, are we not getting this stuff? If these players are injured, why are they playing? And I get we don't have the backup to, I guess, bring players in, but it's their health. It's their health and safety at the end of the day. Like, I get players, especially players like Cripps, are always going to want to play. It's up to you to say, look, mate, you're not fit. Have a week or two off. But it's very interesting, all these players that are, it's the second last game of the year, and we've got all these outs now. Like, it is very convenient timing. It's very interesting. But as for the board, it's just the review findings. Like, we spoke about it before, and I want to do a bit more reading into it, like in terms of why we aren't getting the findings. Like, why don't we deserve to know? We've watched every single game, every single minute of whether it's good wins, bad losses, whatever it is. We've watched every game this year, and for as long as we've been alive, we've put up with all this shit. Why the fuck don't we deserve to know what the issues are with the club and how they're going to fix them? It's all good to say, just trust them. We've just trusted them for 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And where's that got it? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's the same shit over and over again. They're very power hungry, and they're trying. Obviously, it's been a big thing. We haven't really went into it with Vince and I want to say it right, Lagudishe, is that somewhere right? And in terms of what they're changing and all that in the board meeting, which I think has been pushed back to like February or something like that. I think I read now.
They're very lucky. They are very, very lucky.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, but I don't know. I just want to know. There's been a lot of leaked stuff with the review, but I just want to know what's going on with the club and how they're going to fix it personally. But that's my rant. You boys agree?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could not have said it any better. Like, seriously, every single thing you just said, because like that was spot on. Because as you said, we pay we pay our hard-earned money to watch this club. Like, we talk about, like, we fucking have a podcast. We mention it. There's so many content, like so much content for this football club, and they're not like, this is the main thing. Like, this bloody review was one of the biggest stories when it came out in the AFL, when Carlton were pushing their external review forward to find out what the fuck is wrong with this club. And for the supporters, the supporters who got David Teague into the job, and they're not telling us what's wrong. Like, mate, who are you going to show? You're going to show the board members
telling us like sensitive stuff that we probably don't need to know. But the rest of it, a vast majority of it, we fucking, in my opinion, deserve to know. Why don't we deserve to know?
Yeah,
we can't just keep trusting.
Because that's why the whole supporter group's divided right now. You got guys pushing out Teague, you got guys wanting to keep him, you got people saying his back staff are shit, some people saying they're good. That's why, because we don't actually know the answer. So we all come up with our own answer. Yeah. Like, we have no idea why we're still shit. You can't pick one thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's defense or like an easy option. We've got so many problems that it's just causing this divided shit that I just don't like. And it's just, we should be as one. We should be as one.
How long until the Blues make finals, Jack?
Too long.
I want a definitive answer. Come on, when are they making finals?
Give us a year.
You'd hope next year, but who'd know?
Will David T be coach? Yes or no? Before we move on, I
would hope so.
He sits on the fence.
Yes or no?
You're arsed even sitting on that fence, mate.
I'm gonna say he won't be, but I hope he is.
All right, Mitch. David T be coaching next year.
Next year, 2022 finals. If not, I'm not renewing my membership in 2023. Teague will be coach next year.
Thanks, Pato.
I agree with what Pato just said. Daff, wrap it up, mate, before we wrap up the show.
We'll be playing finals next year. I think we can't really afford to not play finals. I know we said that last year, but we've got about 400,000 injuries and all these other shit going on. So, 2023 we'll be in the top 6. I think we'll climb up the ladder, and David Teague will not be coach of the Carlton Football Club next year.
I agree with Mitch. Shut up, Ethan. David Teague.
I'm not saying I hope it is. I'm just saying what Jack said.
Yeah,
He said he doesn't think so, but he hopes he is.
Let's be real. Yeah,
I hope Cripps is good next year.
I firmly believe he deserves to see out his contracts one more year. We've waited this long. It's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, the poor bloke has only been here a couple of years. I think he deserves the extra year. And it was good to see Dimmer reach out to him as well.
Yes, that was good.
All right, anything else to add, boys, before we move on to the predictions?
No, it's all good for
Let's
me.
move on, mate.
Predictions. I want to be a bit of a psychic here. This could be the first time all of us tip Port Adelaide. I'm just guessing. It's a bit of a weird guess, but Pato, who have you got? Who have you got, mate?
I think this is the first time I've tipped the opposition team in my life. I'm not even kidding. I don't think I've ever tipped against Carlton.
Can't relate.
But I've tried hard to somehow find even a 1 point, even a draw with this team. But I don't see us winning. I've got Power by 18. I've put McGovern to kick 2. I feel like it was good when he got he was starting to get some form when he got injured. So it was unfortunate that he got injured when he did. But hopefully he can somewhat regain some form for the preseason. And Kemp to impress. Bang.
Beautiful. Well said, mate. Daff, what do you got, mate?
I have got Port Adelaide by 28 points. I think we'll give it a red hot go, and they'll blow it out in the last quarter a little bit.
Injuries hurt, mate. Jack, what do you got, mate?
Before I give me number, I just want to say that I don't see an area of the game with the lineup we have in where we can win, where we can we can be on top. I think Port just beats us comfortably.
Not even bench.
Oh, the rotations. How are we to go on the rotation?
Oh, yeah, no, we might win that one.
We beat them with our injury list, I reckon.
Yes.
we have better runners.
Yeah, that's true.
Continue, especially.
I think, just don't think there's an area we can get on top. So I've got Port by 40, and I do have Jacob to keep Charlie goalless, but I think all the other Port forwards kick all the goals.
Best, mate. All right. That's good. All right, beautiful. Well said, mate. All right. Now, fuck you, blokes. I'm going Carlton.
The bag. How many, Sam? How many points?
Well, I had Power by 8. So I'm gonna do a Jack Speechley and just sit dead on the fence. So it's out there, but I'm going with the Blue Baggers by 13. Fairy tale finish as well. Mark Murphy, 25 disposals.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
The last goal as well. Everyone starts crying. That's my prediction. Beautiful. I'd say well said, but unfortunately it wasn't very well said from you Port Adelaide supporters. So
never tear us apart, mate.
It's club champions 300th game, and you've tipped the other team. I'm pretty disappointed, personally. But we'll move on. So yeah, obviously, I'll the only one that put my scarf up today. So go the Baggers.
Go the mighty Blues. And Murphy, of course.
Take the scarves off.
All right,
take the scarves off.
All right. All the best, Blues.
Go Baggers. Good luck, Murph.
Also, it's been a bit of a sad week. Of course, we found out early in the week, our co-captain Sam Docherty's cancer has reappeared. So our thoughts are with you, mate, in this terrible time. You've been through a lot of shit the last sort of few years with ACL injuries, and obviously had cancer the first time as well. So yeah, we're all thinking of you, mate, and we know you'll get through this. So love you, Doc.
Love you, Doc.
Beautiful. And then also, we found out also sort of only a few days ago that a young man by the name of Slater unfortunately passed away earlier on in the week. Slater inspired us with his resilience and determination when we all saw him earlier on in the year. I think it might have been the Gold Coast game.
Yeah, the Gold Coast game. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So the other game you were at, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, obviously, he unfortunately passed away earlier on in the week. So our hearts go out to his family during these hard times. And, rest in peace, mate. And hope the boys get a win for you this week.
Hope so.
Well said, Sammy.
Well said, Sammy.
Thank you.